Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
I've spoken about the Boynton Beach Postal and Gift Center before, and the proprietor, the owner, the man that does everything, he ships the stuff, he buys the stuff, he sells the stuff, Michael SAYNE. So welcome.
Thank you, Miss ANITA. Glad to be here.
I have no idea how you survive, especially, during the summer you even survive, but what do you do in the winter? I can hardly see you from all the places, all the boxes and everything that you have.
Well, it's this time of the year is Christmas time, of course, and so people are just constantly sending all their grandchildren and all their loved ones packages, and so we're Santa only delivers once a year. We deliver 365 days a year.
Yes, you do.
So in this time of the year, it just gets really busy with those people.
Well, let me tell you why I love what you do there, but what really makes it nice for me is I can buy something. I always try to buy a lot of things there because that's my favorite place. I buy something, give it to you, you wrap it up, you put it in a box, you mail it somewhere. I don't do a thing. And it isn't very expensive to do it that way.
No, we try to find the cheapest way for you to do it. And, whatever occasion that you have, we can wrap it up. If you buy it there, we wrap it for free. And even if you don't buy it there, we'll still wrap it up for you for a small charge. Usually it's $1 or $2. That's it. Depending on what kind of accoutrements you want, to make your package more,
festive, right?
Exactly. The more you want, the more you pay. But I mean, most of the time, it's very reasonable to wrap it up for you, and we do try to get to your party on time, whatever the occasion is.
Well, I have to tell you something about you, of course, and you don't know this, but I've lived in that area in Ocean Ridge. See, we built our house, I guess, about 28 years ago. We don't live there now, but we did. And my husband used to always go up, and I even came in where now it's TD Bank, but used to be over there and I always admired you because it's so odd to go to a small place in the middle of a little city and find unique items. Is this something, where does this come from in your brain? It's just a skill you have, don't you, of knowing what's unique or... What is this with you? It's a gene, isn't it?
Well, it's a learning process. I have a couple of art degrees, but
I did not know that.
I like to find the most unusual things that I don't want to. We don't want you to come in there and feel like you're in a Macy's or you're in a Nordstrom, you're in something like that. We buy from very small mom and pop companies as well. We try to find the most American-made companies that we can find. That way, we can keep all the business still in America. And we want you to be able to, when you walk in there, go, oh, my God, where in the world did you find something like this? And it takes a lot of time. We go to a lot of different trade shows, and we go through every nook and cranny of every building that we go to find, because sometimes these people get stuck in the very back where people will skim around the front. It's kind of like the same thing when people are looking on the internet. They may go the first 3 or 4 pages of a particular item they're looking for. They don't go through all of them. Very few people ever do that. And sometimes the gold is in the very end. You just have to be patient and keep looking for it.
Well,
and that's what we do.
Well, that's what I do when I go in your store, actually. I wind up having, I come in to do a particular thing. And then I start going in and out around. And it's not a large store, but you go around the counters. And I buy things, some of it's compulsive, I must admit, very compulsive buying. Is that what I call it? Compulsive?
Yeah, that would be a correct term.
And just recently I bought, and I don't remember the exact words, but I bought this piece of artwork you put on the wall, and it was for my husband's 93rd birthday, and it talks about I love you in the morning, I love you in the afternoon, I love you in the evening, and love you on the moon. And we have it in a very prominent place. I never knew where I was going to put that, but it's now a very big part of our life, and I see you every time I see that. I know where I bought that. But I really do appreciate what you do. And the other thing about Michael is he's very friendly. And Michael talks to everybody, and you know everybody. I mean, how long have you been there?
This is my 26th year.
26th year. Well, you do make a difference. And, of course, we were just talking about the Ferris wheel, which people know. I just talked to Darwin earlier on the show at 5 up in Staten Island, and I bought one of these for Darwin because we stayed at his house, and what do I get someone like Darwin Porter who has everything and I thought, well, since they're going to be putting the largest Ferris wheel up there in Staten Island, why not, right? And he's using it. They love it. I mean, here's a man in his 70s, and he's gets such a kick out of that.
Well, the nice thing about the Ferris wheel that you bought, or any of the musical animated machines that we have, they play both Christmas and everyday old-time music that you would find at a carnival or a fair in the old days in the 20s and the 30s. So this way you can leave it out all year long and enjoy it just by flipping a switch on the back side of it. So it makes it more enjoyable because, even though Christmas, really lasts about 30 days, it's still a short season in the grand scheme of things. So at least this way, they used to have ones that strictly were just Christmas, but then you'd have to pack them up and put them away. But now these, you can keep them out all year long and enjoy them.
Well, what we wrote about you, just tell me, I'm just going to say it's a uniquely whimsical gift shop that features hand-painted furniture, stemware, tableware, tabletop accessories, candles, potpourri, and more. It didn't say on this the clothing.
Oh, yeah, clothing covers about a third of the store now, clothing accessories. So we have so many different handbags and accessories of jewelry and belts, and, it just keeps growing.
But I love my slippers. I know you have the holiday slippers in, but I bought those red slippers, and they're wonderful. As soon as I get home, because I usually wear high heels, I get right into my little red slippers. I mean, I do think of you a lot. I mean, I'm glad we're not having an affair because that's exactly what it is. It's like all the things that I have bought jeans there. I'm trying to think. The other day I wore that leather little vest.
Little vest with the
It is the cutest thing. I've had people say, "Where did you get that?" So, besides the Postal aspect, which that's where I guess a lot of people came in. They didn't know that you'd capture them for other things.
Well, the idea was that 26 years ago, it really was just a postal center. It really wasn't a gift center. We really just did UPS, Federal Express, and all the mail services. And I did fruit shipping. I had a grove up in the middle of the state that I did all their fruit shipping. And then there was a restaurant called Lucille and Otley's.
I remember that.
Yeah, on Federal Highway.
Yes.
And then the owners of that came in, and they started baking cookies that they wanted to sell on a retail basis. So I used to sell their cookies. And then I had a whole, usually about 10,000 half-price greeting cards for every occasion. And that's where it all started. And then we thought that this computer boom was going to be a good thing. So we decided to make 2 computer rooms for user-friendly computers for people to use.
Excuse me, I don't know you have them now. You have that now?
No, we don't. Because
okay.
What happened is that since my client base was in their 60s to start with, in those days, when you go back in 1991, they didn't know what computers were, and they didn't want to know what computers were. I was actually sending more computers out of there from the grandparents who the children had sent to them to try and keep in contact with their grandchildren, and they still believe in the old handwritten note, so they would send all their computers back, so the rooms were never used. I think they got used one time. So we said, well, let's get rid of the computers, and we started putting all these little stationary products, and get note cards, and we even had this whole rack of you could buy one sheet at a time with every color of stationery you could possibly imagine, with envelopes, with little seals, wax seals, and everything. And it grew from there. Then we started carrying. I'm sure a lot of your customers understand precious moments. We started with that, and then we just got a little bit more knick-knacky, and then it just started growing. And then we ran out of room there because it was only a 1,000 square foot building at the time. So we had this overhang that was right outside the door. So I built all these tables on rollers that you took out, put tablecloths on them, set all this stuff up, and then every afternoon it took a half hour more to take the stuff back in. And so I did this every day. And finally, I was talking to, at the time, my partner. I said, you don't do any of this. I have to do all this. We need a bigger store. So we talked to the landlord, and we actually had a drive-through because it used to be a bank. So all these ladies that had children who didn't want to schlep their children out of the car and into the store would come through the drive-through. So we were going to enclose the drive-through, And the landlord was like, okay, well, you can, but we're going to charge you more money because you'll have more square footage. And I said, but we're paying for that. But anyways, make a long story short, we opened up a second store in Deerfield at that time. And that lasted for about 10 years in the Cove Shopping Center. And then the landlords from there just obviously had a brain aneurysm because they raised the rent from $3,300 to $11,000 a month.
Oh,
and we
terrific!
said, you
right.
can have it. You can just keep it. That's fine. And the funny thing was, 2 years later, he called me back. He says, "Well, you can move in, and I'll just charge you half that." I said,
Yeah,
"No,
right.
you'd have to buy all my equipment." But anyway, so then Dunkin' Donuts wanted my old spot in the shopping center where you're talking about, where it's a little building. And so the shopping center made me an offer to move into the center itself to a almost 4,000 square foot spot. Well, once we moved into that,
You didn't need anything else.
we didn't need any encouragement to start expanding. So we went really heavy into furniture and a lot of tableware, ceramics, crystal china.
Oh yeah,
And then
gorgeous
it moved into chandeliers. And then once the housing boom died out, we decided that, women need an excuse to buy a gift, but not an article of clothing. They could just be going, oh, well, I'm going to lunch with Donna today. She's seen me and all that stuff. So I think I'll buy something new. And I have women who just come in. They go try stuff on. They come to the counter. Please cut the tags off. I'm on my way to lunch. I'm wearing this now. So it's been really fun.
You really, Michael SAYNE is our guest. He's just so charming. But I have to say he has very good taste. So when you see the clothing, it's not something you're going to find everywhere else and has in all colors. But what I want to do is for people who are listening, I know they're saying, well, where do I go? First of all, I'll give you the address, but it won't mean as much as what I'm going to give you the location. It's located actually at 562 East Woolbright Road, Boynton Beach. It's in the Sunshine Square Shopping Center. It's next to Pet Supermarket. That's how you're really going to know where it is. So if you just come on Federal Highway, it's Woolbright, and go into that shopping center. There's a I forget the name of the gas station on the outside, but whatever it is.
Valero,
right. And you go in and just plan on at least a half an hour just to walk around. Yeah, at least. But if now, especially at the holiday time, there'll be lots of things you'll want to be sending. But go in to buy something because you could do all your shopping there. I mean, if you want something, if you're a careful purchaser, go there, buy those. Just buy so many things. I can't tell you all the things. I don't think I have anything else on today, but I have so many things from your store, and it's really my favorite little store. I mean, I don't want to go to Macy's, Saks, those places. It's just not the same, and you're so friendly too. That makes such a difference.
Well, I try to be the happiest person that I can be, just for myself, because it makes you feel better when you're a happy person. So to be around other happy people, or to try to make other people happy, I think that's really a nice goal in life, is to try and help people and make them happy if you can.
Honey, it's your southern grow.
It's my mother.
It's your son. It's your mother.
It's my mother.
That's right. You're right there. It's lovely. So I didn't notice that you had any cookies or things like that.
Oh, yes.
Now, where were they? I didn't see them. Where do you keep them?
Well,
you're eating them all.
I'm eating them. I do eat them all. That's the reason why I buy them, to keep up the energy. But Miss Anita, you have to understand that, like, yesterday a woman was in there and she said, I've been in here for 3 hours and I haven't seen even half the store. She goes, I'm coming back tomorrow, because there is so much stuff in this store that it takes you a long time, and you will come, if you came in every day, you would see something new, because boxes come in every day as well. But I'm sorry that you missed the cookies and the candy, because they're right there, right beside the front counter.
Well, I'm coming in. I'll be in there later probably, so I will be doing that. But the other thing I really want to talk about is the convenience, and I don't want to slip over that. It is true. You go to a post office, and there are huge lines, and they're only open certain times. But I realize now that's how you really started. So you've got this perfected, and you have all these boxes, and all the people, the FedEx comes in, and all the other Postal
we
people.
find the best way and the cheapest way. You tell me when something needs to be there, and we will make sure it gets there at that time. And if you are traveling and you say to me, well, I'm not going to be home for about a week, well, I have a warehouse that I will hold the package, and I won't let it go out, so it doesn't sit at your house where anything could happen to it, or if it's in the rain or the elements of whatever's going on. And especially this time of year, we have to watch our backs because there are people out there who watch where UPS trucks and FedEx Express trucks go, and if they're in neighborhoods, they will watch and see where packages are left. And then when the UPS truck goes or the FedEx Express truck goes, they'll just sit around for a few minutes or whatever, and then they will go steal your packages. That is why a lot of times people have to understand when UPS or FedEx Express deliver a package and you're not at home, they try to hide it somewhere around your front or around their side door, or if they can get to your back side, they will go to the back, around the back of your house. And that is for your safety because, so many people have to work. So they, if it's a home, they try to not deliver till after 5, after 6 o'clock because they need to be at all the businesses before 5 o'clock anyway because they know they close. But they know most people work, so they really try hard not to deliver residential packages till late in the evening. So this way, the chances are you're going to be at home because they really don't like leaving packages with unattended because for that reason, because there are just so many unfortunate crooks out there who do that sort of thing. So,
and what are your hours?
My hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m., sometimes later. We stay as long as people are coming in.
8 to 6, and you're there.
And then on Saturday, I'm there from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. or longer. And then right now, through Christmas, I'm there from 11 to 3 on Sundays.
I forgot that you're open on Sundays. So when someone brings in the package, of course, it doesn't go out on Sunday, but goes out on Monday, but it's all ready. Yeah. Now, do you ever run out of room with all those packages there?
Well, we used to.
Stacked high.
It's not as prolific as it was because so much stuff is done online now. So we still send out 1,000 packages a day, which is no problem because we have a number of pickups a day. So the stuff is coming and going.
Are you serious? You send out 1,000 packages a day?
Easily, because I'll have at least 5 or 6 buckets 3 times a day full of mail packages that go out. I mean, we have all different sizes of packages that go out. So depending on the smaller the packages, I usually will send, through the mail. And I have certain ways of sending things. I don't talk about them to the person in front of me. The only reason is because I believe that if you give too much information out there to people, then good people listen to you as well as bad people. So you don't want to alert crooks on certain ways that you do things to keep crooks from trying to steal a package.
And this is our radio show, which goes all over South Florida, so we're not telling them anything.
No, I don't tell them anything. It's like when I see something on TV and I say, why are you telling these people how to make a bomb? This is stupid, right? So I try hard not to inform the public except when the public come in to see me. And I said, this is how we're going to do this to make your package as safe as possible to where crooks don't really know what's in your package. So I have ways of disguising things that only I know how to do, and I don't let anybody know.
We're not telling any of you. No. You have to go in and just go see Michael SAYNE.
Right, and I will tell you the best way and how to do something and how to disguise it so that someone doesn't even know what they're getting.
So it's the Boynton Beach Postal and Gift Center, and it seems like a mundane name. I just have to say that to you because what you have inside is so classy and so lovely. Boynton Beach Postal Center. Oh, please.
Well, I understand. But see, the thing was, when I wanted to change the name, they wanted to charge me $5,000 just to change the name. And I'm like, well, I'll just add a word to it. So that's where it came in, and gift center.
I know.
And they didn't charge me anything for that. Because we had this idea that when we started carrying all of these gifts and clothing, we were just going to call it Bazaar Bazaar.
Oh, that's fun. I like that.
But I didn't want to spend $5,000 just to call it Bazaar Bazaar. And the city wouldn't let me change the name.
Bazaar Bazaar
okay,
anyway,
we'll call it Bazaar Bazaar.
That's what we do it.
Anita's Bazaar Bazaar.
Absolutely. That's it. It's the new Anita's Bazaar Bazaar because it is. Now, I do have one complaint. On the outside, you have this cute little kiosk, but it's always the same stuff. Why don't you keep changing?
I have changed. So you're not paying attention.
I am. I want to buy something out there.
We have our half-price box Christmas cards out there now. I put that on the bottom, and I put all these. I've been trying to stuff that is not moving as well. We mark it down because we want people to enjoy that, and new stuff keeps coming in. So I need room for the new stuff. So I just put out all these little alarm clocks that make animal sounds. So
I saw them.
So instead of like when there's a porpoise on one of them, instead of it going wah, wah, it goes sounds like Flipper. and then there's a cat that goes meow, meow. And if that doesn't wake you up, then, that will annoy you enough to wake you up.
Oh, Michael, I mean, I didn't know you were a ventriloquist also, but no, it's really very wonderful. And you do have there are different price things. I mean, if you want to pay, probably, I think your most expensive thing might be some of the glassware, $500, maybe it's even a little more. You do have some very fine gifts.
I do, and I have some. I have
for $15.
I have medium, yes, I have every price in the neighborhood because.
Right.
But like I said, we try to find the best quality of stuff at the most reasonable price. But sometimes when you get into the designer things, which, the designer things that I carry, some people maybe have never heard of before.
Well, it's one of a kind, too, some things. I've seen that.
Yes, because when we buy some things, when we sell out of it, it's done. We can't get it again because, we're dealing with mom-and-pop people who only sell to boutique-type places.
Right. Well, I have to tell you, wait, I'm going to get it. I went in there because I was buying some things, and I needed a new wallet. I lost my wallet, and I saw this beautiful wallet. And Michael was so sweet, and he gave it to me as a gift, I guess, for my birthday or something. And I've had more compliments on this wallet. I have to tell you, it's very pretty. I have all my stuff in it, and I don't lose it in my purse because it's I guess it's tangerine. But anyway, I mean, I do live with you. You do not. I mean, you and I are really together. But I guess before we're going to run out of time in a couple of minutes, but I wanted to ask you also about you have a lot of cute things like the Damn It dolls. We talked about that before. A lot of people, they get upset, especially nowadays with what's going on. Take this Damn It doll, and I think, what is it, about $15? Or
$16, correct.
$16. So the Damn It dolls are really cute to give out. You could give one to every business owner, whoever you want, so that's cute. But the gift cards, I mean your greeting cards, they're really nice. You have a huge supply of them. But you also have those other beautiful ones that open up,
Yeah, we have a lot of different greeting cards. We still carry the half price greeting cards, but now we've brought in a whole new line of papyrus. If you're familiar with papyrus,
Gorgeous.
They're usually carried in more finer stores, right. But they're a much more expensive card. But they have a lot of accoutrements on them. There's lots of jewels on them. There's foils. There's layers. So they're a little bit more special. So when you want to give somebody a special card, we have those. We also have a line of cards called quilling, which is an art form of paper shredding, and or paper curling, excuse me. And it's very hard to explain to you what they really look like. Because it's all done with paper. It's very colorful, and a lot of people will even take the front of the card, cut the back of it off, and frame it, because each one is like a little piece of art. You would have to see them to understand it.
See, now I know. When I did not know that you studied art, now I understand why it all makes sense to me. I thought, what is this guy doing here with all this cute stuff and very fine stuff and very unusual stuff? But now I know you are really, it's almost a destination. That's why we're really advertising this. Even though this goes throughout South Florida, it's a destination for people to go to the Boynton Beach Postal Center and gift shop, the Bazaar Bazaar.
Anita's
Bazaar Bazaar, because I challenge you to walk out without buying something. You won't.
And if anyone listening comes in the next 3 days, for the next 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, or if you want to come tomorrow or today, that's fine too. But for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, or today and tomorrow, you can get 20% off on all gifts and clothing. But you must mention either Anita's name or see me, Michael. That's the only two ways I'm going to know that you were listening.
Bazaar.
If you say Anita's Bazaar, then I do know that you were listening this morning.
Oh, boy, this is great. 20% off. Let me tell you, it's a lot of money off on some of the gifts.
At this time of the year, sure.
It's fabulous. So let me give you a phone number again. The number there, we're not giving phone numbers out, are we? We don't want to give a phone number out. Just come. There's nothing you have to talk about. We already told you it's open now 7 days. It's open normally from 8 to 6.
On Monday through Friday.
And Saturday is from 9 to 4. And Sunday
11 to 3.
11 to 3. You ought to get over there. Boynton Beach Postal and Gift Center. Remember, it's off Federal Highway. Woolbright. It's in the Sunshine Square.
The southwest corner of Woolbright and Federal Highway.
Right next to the little pet shop. So anyway, Michael, it's wonderful having you come here. I definitely got to get my list together and start sending the things out. I really appreciate you so much.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Miss Anita.